So, welcome to the last stint of the DSH-hour race here in Fuji. We're having a practice start now, and then the very last stint is going to start. So, thanks Marcus for starting the final. So, as you probably have seen in the former stints, the procedure has changed. We are now having a standing start and one formation lap, and the second lap is actually the first racing lap. This is a new change, so today is the first day that we practice this, and I think it's best to try it out so that everyone is on the same page. Albertini should know better. He raced in the second stint. Let's car goes. So the idea is the rolling start system is flawed. Once the field's already spread out with more than 10-15 seconds, tracks like Spa don't work at all, for example. And they create a lot of bugs and glitches, so standing starts are a lot more safer. We hadn't had problems so far, which is great, and that's why we changed the setup. It also gives drivers that are more to the end of the field a chance to achieve something because they're so much closer to the front. So up to this point, everything is standard procedure, just warming up tires and arriving in these corners. In this corner, drivers supposed to form a queue with a minimum maximum speed. Seems like Albertini didn't get the memo. Yeah, and then line up two files, and the leader, in this case Cello, can dictate the pace. And then start race freely at a certain point. Like now. Seems like Marcus had a good start. And everyone else, yep, looks decent, and I think it is helpful. Most drivers don't have the chance to test it out, and with a practice start we don't lose much time, and drivers get a feel for what to expect, and that should also minimize troubles for the real race start in turn 1. Nice slide from Comrade. Letting you know, by the way, the current standings of the event. Obviously, the grid order is how the standings are right now. F1 Revolution, first team is leading, 90 seconds ahead of DLL, 100 seconds in front of RC2, COC, Team Albertini, 165 seconds behind. Second, RC team 75. second F1 Air team is 300 seconds, so 5 minutes behind. PPL is about 7 minutes behind, and FAF is plus 10 minutes behind. So it seems like F1 Air has this in the bag, but 90 seconds with problems could vanish. They have to bring it to the end properly. And also P2 and P3 are less than 6 seconds, so that's very close too. Hi Predator. Ja, Cello bringt's nach Hause. Das ist die Aufgabe. Ich hoffe, man konnte es gut verstehen. Der aktuelle Vorsprung plus 90 Sekunden auf DLL und 100 Sekunden auf RRC. Also das Ziel muss ganz klar sein, das nach Hause zu bringen. Yeah, DLL 6 seconds ahead of RRC2 and roughly 60 seconds a minute ahead of COC Racing. So that should be interesting. So start. What time is it anyway? 19:30. 30. Ja, freut mich. Also da geht's ganz viel Dank auch an Confi raus. Also ich bin Stint 1 gefahren, Confi hat kommentiert. Dann haben wir uns abgewechselt. Confi ist Stint 2 gefahren, ich habe kommentiert. Stint 3 bin wieder ich gefahren, Confi hat kommentiert. Und jetzt im vierten Stint Confi fährt, ich kommentiere. Also Confi und ich waren heute im Dauereinsatz. Und ich glaube, so die letzten 10 Runden bei meinem Stint hat man es gemerkt. Also da war ich nicht mehr so bei 100%. Aber das war's wert. Schade, dass wir so wenige sind auf der Strecke, aber nichtsdestotrotz macht das echt Bock. Ah, Halli, grüß dich. Nicht schlecht gefahren. So. Last preparations. I can have a drink. Prost to myself. And then we can start any second now. I wonder, especially now that we have multiple F1R drivers in the chat, what's your favorite livery? Is it your own livery, or do you think some other league has a great livery? In my opinion, the RC livery is amazing with all the details, black on black. It's hard to see, but it's really well made. I like your livery as well. It's something new, something different. Marcus designed a DLL livery. I'm happy with that. 10 out of 10 for me. Albertini for CC has also a great livery. Some fresh, popping colors. Okay, here we go. The last 2 hours. Cello ahead of Marcus, ahead of Confi, Teal Albertini, Comrade, Edwin, Louis for PPL, and Energy for FAF Racing. So display all looks good. And Formation Lab is underway. Okay. Das ist die Liga-Brille. Ich glaube, niemand sagt über seine eigene Liga was Schlechtes, oder? Alles okay. Ist ja auch eine gute Lackierung, gefällt mir auch. Okay, Cello seems to have all the time in the world in this Formation Lab. Very slowly, very carefully maneuvers the car around the track. By this point, the 2 hours are probably over, before we finish the first lap. Just kidding. Just as a reminder, cars have to file 3 corners before the end of the lap into 2 files, and the minimum maximum speed is 80 and 100 kph, and on the main start-finish straight there is a banner, a sponsor banner, and when drivers cross this, the leader, in this case Cello, can decide from that point until the start-finish line where he would like to start a race. He's the first to accelerate, anyone else has to wait. In the practice start, Cello didn't have the best start. I think that Marcus didn't lost any ground at least. Let's see how this turns out. Through the last corner, and now they're piling up. There's the banner, the Advent banner. Cello dictates the pace, and the race is on. Seems to have a good start. Marcus in P2 is losing a bit. Confi has a better start. Confi had a bad beginning of the last race. Almost easy touched. He's touched Marcus. How was that not damage? Marcus has no damage. Albertini P3, Comrade P4, Antwin, Energy for Faf in P6, Lulu, and then we have Confi, who had a horrible start again to his race. Braked and locked everything up. I think he touched Marcus, but there's no damage. So really lucky for both teams that they can continue the race. I mean, Confi lost a couple of places and time, yes, but that could have been way worse. Albertini used all this chaos to jump into P2, and Marcus is now in P3. Another RC car behind. Not the best exit for Marcus, so Comrade has a good chance to jump into the podium position here. Marcus has no slipstream, and that seems like an easy job. Marcus doesn't fight it too hard. Looked like a little nudge from Comrade. But he's through into 3rd position. Marcus P4. We have Energy in 5th position. The team owner of FAF praised his skills, said he was a really quick driver, and he's making progress. Starting from last position, now in 5th position. And on the rear, on the next car, Marcus has to look into his rear mirror because FAF is finally arriving in his race. Hi Boris, greetings. Yeah, I don't want to commentate on that on live stream. Who was at fault, who was not. Yeah. Shame how it went. Yeah, I think we can all agree it would have been better if you would have been there. But yeah, we race in 7-8 weeks again, 24 hours, Le Mans, and then we see you back on track. In the meantime, Faf merged into P4, Marcus in P5, has Edwin in his mirror, Louis in 7th place, and Confi is fighting back into 8th position. No changes here by the leaders. Cello is leading the race 1.5 seconds ahead of Albertini, who's leading leading of Comrade. Yeah, nice, Boris. Like that that people follow it, and we put a lot of effort in it. And yeah, Predator said he enjoyed the stream. Happy. Did you have a similar opinion? Confi and I aren't native speakers, so I hope that our English is bearable. So, Comrade, what's he doing? Closing the gap on Albertini at the moment. As you probably all know, 3/4 of a second, 750 thousandths. That's the magic number you want to be in. That's where you get slipstream. So far, Albertini has no slipstream, and Comrade is just out of that range. Energy is doing a good job bringing the car forward from 8th place now. Closing. I think he's closing. Let's compare time 31.4. Not quite. But he's pulling away from P5 and 6. We have Marcus defending against Edwin. Edwin right now rather far back. That he will make advantage of the situation, because Marcus is sitting up right now. He's fighting on his own. No one in front of him who can give him some slipstream, and that hurts. That's so powerful here, having slipstream or not. Yeah, Boris agree. Halfway up. How to say it? They hadn't had the best races in Stint 1 and 3, and now finally they show a class. And also interesting for us, having a new name, new car, new league mixing in front and fighting for the podium slots. So good for us. Not good for me is that my teammate is probably going to be overtaken by Edwin right now. Marcus is the defense is covering the inside line. Edwin has so much momentum that he can make the corner on the outside. Clean maneuver. Fighting back, has overtaken P8 and is now aiming to get Marcus. That's the fight for second place in the overall standings right now. So Confi is running a bit wide, has to finish more than 6 seconds ahead of DLL. The race is very short, so to say, but he's shown great pace in the second stint. In P8 right now, getting interesting here. Top 3. Shadow has lost some of that advantage. Albertini is in slipstream range and could attack. Same to say of Comrade. This time, Shadow definitely has to keep an eye out of Albertini, because Albertini showed a very aggressive style. When I say aggressive, I mean aggressive, not unfair. This has to be clarified. Albertini drove very hard and on the limit, but was always fair with that. And Comrade has good position right now. He can... Oh, Albertini lost traction there. Comrade can save fuel, can can look where his opponents are strong, where they're weaker than him, and yeah, seize an opportunity. It's putting pressure now on Albertini and giving him a bump, overtaking him with that. I don't feel like this was the cleanest move. Albertini probably is not going to like that maneuver. Maybe he can get that position back right now. Definitely good news for Cello. He's not free from danger, but has managed a gap of 1 second. Albertini got that position back. The maneuver down the inside, braking, covering the inside. Textbook overtake. So, Destructor shows good pace, but it looks like that he's a little bit in the middle of nowhere. Cannot catch the guy in front, but it's quicker than the drivers behind. Marcus is doing a good job keeping up with Antwin. It's very important to stay close to the other driver in front of you. If you can maintain slipstream, you gain almost half a second left. So Confi, I don't know why, but he has big troubles joining the pack in front. Maybe I underestimated the pace of some drivers, or overestimated Confi's a bit, or as I said before, Confi, this is his second stint. He commentated 2 stints, so he's active for more than 6 hours. This is a very long time, and he doesn't feel being at 100%, which is only understandable. He's 3 seconds behind Marcus. His aim has to be to get in slipstream range as soon as possible. And Paige, I wonder what the settings are she's driving with. Her front tires are really worn in comparison to the rear tires, thus having probably a lot of understeer that early in the race. After all, it's driver liking how tires should degrade more to front, more to rear. I prefer a little bit more to the front, having understeer, but having the feeling of more control over the car, rather than having more oversteer and fighting and sliding and ruining my tires even more. So Jello has to look behind, Comrade just 8/10 behind, and Comrade managed to overtake Albertini. Like Antwin finally managed to get rid of Marcus. Gap is 1.2 seconds, and that helped Confi immediately. Gap from 3 seconds is down to 2.5, so half a second closer to him. Let's focus on the front now. Cello, Comrade had, yeah, not cleanest maneuver against Albertini in this area here. And that was only for the second place. could have been a misunderstanding. Cello should be on the watch. The gap is coming down less than half a second. 4/10, now 3. Is it enough to attack? Not quite. Comrade is closing down. He managed to close the gap twice now, despite being out of the window for slipstream. So pace looks strong. If we compare tires, we see that Cello has right side equal distribution between front and rear. A little bit front suffering. Comrade having a look. I think his tires are looking... Yeah, his tires are looking slightly better. We're at the end of the 11th lap, so at this point tire wear is becoming an issue. It is definitely there, although pretty manageable in my opinion. But tire wear is going to be a problem within the next 2 laps. Having a look, he's way closer than he was the last lap. That could be enough for a change of lead. Cello is defending the inside, but not completely. Comrade is going for the outside. He's braking late. No touch between both cars for now. Now the touch on the exit curb. Comrade tried to go the long way around the outside, but got run wide by Cello and had to back out of it seemed. Albertini can't use that to his advantage right now. He's still outside the slipstream window and they're running away from Energy. Where's Antwin? Something happened to Antwin. I missed it, I'm sorry. Antwin has damage, front damage. That's weird because Marcus was behind him by more than a second and Energy was 3-4 seconds in front of him. I can't imagine that this damage happened with another car. Maybe he touched the AstroTurf on turn 1. That's something I could imagine. So let's see if he is going to pit or continue. He's continue. Comfy's times are not great. We started with 100 liters, so his times aren't as good as the laps when we came out of the pits with around Comrade, right? Cello, sorry. What happened? Oh, there must have been a big thing. Sorry that I missed that too while being on the other F1 Revolution driver, but Cello's murdered. He has front damage, which isn't that bad. The front wheel damage, which is okay, but he has also damage on the engine, and that is costing him dearly. This is big. This is threatening the win of this team for the whole event. Albertini is also in the pits. No damage for him. Okay, where is Cello? He's now pitting, and he definitely lost 20 seconds. The lead to DLL was around 90 seconds. F1 Revolution is losing 20 seconds out of those 90 seconds, thus being ahead 70 seconds. But we have to focus on racing. Fortunately, if you can even say that, this accident, this incident, whatever, happened close to the pit window. So he doesn't have to make one more extra stop, and he can continue with the planned strategy. Otherwise, he would, if he would need to make one more stop, he would lose another 20 seconds. But we see, yeah, Cello's here. He is currently 45 seconds behind. So, ouch. We see Comrade who's leading. Pfaff is in second position, and somehow Marcus is right behind them. Why? Marcus didn't drove that much quicker. Lap times are somewhat similar. Marcus is coming alive. He had a bad start to the race, starting in second position and positions being 6th for a moment, but now he's coming back. Yeah, if you can read chat, Cello isn't pleased with what Comrade did. Again, sorry that I missed that. Cello 50 seconds behind, that hurts. Pipel in the pits as well. I hope. I'm not happy with the way the tires were worn out. There was so much more on the front than there were on the rear. I don't think that's the best way. Cello has to fight his anger and is have to fight a long way, a long way. We have in P5 Albertini visited the pits in lap 13, and Confi, who hasn't pitted yet. I see Confi not putting any fight to that, which is a smart way, actually. Understands that this is not the moment to fight. Losing the position, but ultimately not losing time. That's important. I'm missing so much stuff. I'm so sorry, guys. But Marcus took the lead. And Energy took an interesting line to get that position back. That wasn't the way you should race. But if we look at the tires, it's clearly understandable why Marcus could close the gap so easily. Those tires are not in a good conditions, while Marcus are definitely not new, but not competitive. No shit, yeah. I'm aware that this thing exists, but I'm streaming on PlayStation, not having a PC. Can't use that. Sorry. Both are pitting, so Albertini is taking the lead. Someone has to burn a penalty. That was Confi. I don't know what's wrong with Confi. The lap times aren't strong. He's driving 33s now. He's driving a long stint too. I'm sorry, but I don't understand the strategy behind going this long. It looks like to me like he's having damage, but the game doesn't show it, something like that. Because he is about 2 to 1.5 seconds slower than he was the stint in Stint 2. I don't have a computer, I don't have a freaking keyboard. Sorry for that. I wasn't aware that I had to stream, by the way, that came on very short notice. Albertini looking really good right now, likely to win the race with almost 8 seconds ahead of Comrade. Confi finally pitted. We have Energy and DLL closely, and for some reason Flex should be here. Marcus with a move. That was daring. Marcus counts that the other driver opens the door for him, otherwise there will be a crash. I thought Energy was off track there, but it seemed that he kept within track limits just. Okay, Marcus, cover the inside, cover it dearly. He doesn't cover it. Yeah, and I thought there were contact. Okay, I'm not a fan of driving like this. It's not unfair, really, but driving with the intention to use the other car as some way to slow your own car down or to steer it is not fair. Yeah, Predator, top aggressive. I don't like if the driver intends a touch to happen to make maneuver stick or something like this. I mean, the overtake from Marcus was also in a way, okay, either you don't turn in or we're having a crash, which is not something I like. It's heated. It's definitely heated. And it has to be said, they're losing time doing that. If they change positions 2 or 3 times, driving side by side, they're losing time. This is helping Confi and Antwin in P5 and 6. Going on Antwin. We'll check lap times. I'm curious to see what Confi is doing now. His lap times weren't strong. Let's see. 32s and 33s. You should drive 31s. And now with half empty fuel, 30s. Yeah, and he's doing that. So it looks like the pace in this lap was okay. Edwin is pressuring maneuver, but it's not happening now. Ahead of them, Structor and Marcus having a close fight as well. Let's check the front. We have Comrade, who has the fastest lap of the race of 29.6, and last lap was a 1 minute 30.1, while Albertini at the 30.4. So Comrade closed the gap last lap by 3/10. Nice drift, but not the fast way around. Albertini probably is looking at the gap all the time. Let's see if we have a change here. 30.1. Comrade had an accident. It must have been the last corner where he touched the AstroTurf and destroyed the engine. It really seems like people aren't as much concentrated as they were their first stint. That putting both Marcus and Structor on the podium position P2 and P3. And that slams open the door for Albertini for the win in this stint. 22 seconds after 21 laps. I just hope we don't see any more crashes. Well, to be fair, you didn't saw one, because I'm always in the wrong spot. Well, I think you get the point. Confi doing good lap times now, having a 1 minute 30.2. That's good. That's good lap time. It's finally coming back, coming live. Maybe head problems, finding the rhythm, and is now finally there. Edwin, bit of trouble following. It's losing a bit of momentum. 1.4, so he's well out slipstream area, and I think let's compare. Yeah, Confi is catching P3 into by half a second, so he should join them at the high 20s, 27, 8, 9. Let's see, spots of difference in tires by laps, I think. So that advantage is on Confi's side. Let's see if we're hanging in there, and that's great. I mean, I said that with Faf for Stint 2 that I commentated, it is not easy to do a 2-hour race, and it's definitely not easy when you're racing mostly on your own. So this is great stuff, and happy that everyone is here and participating. Dear comrade, only 7th place for him. After that accident, there's a long way to go. Finally, Cello is ahead of him. So Cello with a little bit more on Torres, maybe they see each other on track, and if Comrade really did something stupid, I would like to see Confi another half a second. Only 3 seconds away. Last lap was a bit more than 3.5 seconds. Yeah, see France up. Let's see. Do you know the position where it happened? I assume turn 1. Because if you don't break yourself, then it makes sense to happen there. I don't see another place really. Marcus in second position. He had a gap around the second, but lost some of that gap. Now he's back. Can attack. This Comfy is closing the gap more and more and more. Oh, thanks. No, sorry for that. This duel between Marcus and Destructor is still close, but I think they came to an agreement not to attack overly heavily. Comfy is closing in too. And when lost touch, the gap is 3.5 seconds to Comfy, and he has gap to Cello behind him, 8 seconds. Comrade is closing down the gap to Cello. I think that could turn out entertaining. I'm not sure if it's the way I think, it's the way I would like to be entertained, but I think it's not going to be okay, goodbye, have a nice day. It's not going to be like that. Yeah, I can understand Shadow writing that, not writing that, but feeling this way. If you have done nothing wrong and get hit in a way, you can't do anything about that, and your race is compromised heavily. Especially in a team event where everyone wants to do their part to this. That hurts. Look who's here. Look who's here. Comfy has joined the party. He is in attack range for Destructor. The best thing that could happen for Marcus if those two decide to battle it out, and he could escape, gain a bit. I wonder what happened to Comfy though. His lap times were 2 seconds slower with a little bit more fuel. That's a lot. Comfy prepared. Good exit out of the last corner and is on the rear of Destructor. Gap is closing down, and let's see if Destructor is fighting that. Comfy is going for the inside line. Now they're going to break down second gear. Comfy is the inside line, accelerates, and is in that podium position. Nevertheless, good job from Destructor. Some driving was a bit overly aggressive for my liking, but definitely having a good pace and positioned himself good for this race. Now Comfy is looking for second position. Marcus has gap of 1 second. Let's see if he can keep this up. Cello and Comrade. The gap is just above a second, so I'll keep that in mind. Comfy, not gaining, not having a chance to overtake this time, so we can go and watch this duo. Cello and poor exit. Is defending the inside line, not giving Comrade a slipstream, and strangely enough Comrade is staying on the racing line, not trying to get a slipstream. In my opinion, that gap closed down a lot under braking. Let's check what's happening here. Comfy, round the second, managing this gap. Just a reminder, this team from Comfy has to finish 6 seconds ahead of DLL Marcus here to get in second position. And they have to be 90 to 100 seconds ahead of Cello from F1 Revolution to gain the overall victory of this event. So as long as Cello is in the same lap as Marcus or Confi, he's golden, and F1 Revolution is going to win this event. As long as he's in the same lap and he's not lapped, and that isn't the case at all at the moment. Next attack is coming. Comrade is going to the outside. Cello not giving much space. Holding his position for now. Comrade having the better exit, but probably nowhere to go. Cello is covering the inside line and won't give much room. Comrade looking for the outside, and it's touching Cello again. Okay, one time can happen, but multiple times is not what we want. Come on, guys, you can do this better. Cello is defending hard. He has worse tires, so it's not an easy task. Comrade under braking. I see a lot of leaning, and I can understand that Cello is pissed, but I had a feeling that this was intentionally pushing Comrade, let's say, very close to the edge of the track, not to say off track, but that was very close. Our leader Albertini has pitted. Rejoins the track after we see what's going to happen here. Comrade now ahead, but he's having the outside line. More room this time for both drivers. Around the outside. Okay, that was nice. And that was deliberate. I'm sorry. I haven't seen what happened to Cello from Comrade. Can't judge if that was intentional, if it was a stupid maneuver. I saw that, and that definitely was a stupid maneuver. I don't want to say it was on purpose, but Cello had no intention to backing out from his line there. Albertini now in 4th position, overtakes Antwin, and yeah, if we look at the tire situation, there's no way to fight this. going to pit this lap. He was in a fight with Confi and Marcus. By the way, what are they doing? Marcus is leading the race by 1.5 seconds, so Confi wasn't able to close the gap. Surprisingly to me, I thought he would have more pace because he stopped later, should have better tires. Oh, slightly. Good job from Marcus so far. He is a real race leader. Albertini has stopped. All other riders has to make one more stop. And then we're even Edwin. And then Cello P4 and P5 right now for F1 Revolution. And it looks like that the second team with Edwin is going to beat the first team. Let's see the lap time. We see 1 minute 39, so that was 7 seconds at least. 7 seconds of time loss for Comrade there. Cello continuing for one more lap. Comrade. Given the tire situation, it could be that they meet again on track. I'm not looking forward to this. Energy has pitted, was in 7th place, now in 5th place, and with a possible undercut against Confi and Marcus. They're close together too. Gap 3/10. Looks like both have to stop this lap. Confi 3% fuel. And that's how big the gap is here. Albertini is immediately behind him, despite not having pitted. And Marcus is able to continue one more lap. That's not it's not how Albertini likes it. A little bit more traffic wasn't necessary for him, I bet. Cello is going to pit. Yeah. Confi is now almost done. He is Destructor. Is he able to merge ahead or behind Confi? There is the RC car, and it seems like that the Honda from FAF has more momentum and just is able to come out ahead. That was very close. Bad news for Confi. He's now stuck behind Destructor once more. Somewhat good news for Marcus. The bad news is that Confi was on the same level basically as Marcus, and they are having the undercut on him, so he is maybe most likely coming out behind Confi in 5th position. But if they fight, they maybe don't use their tires to their full advantage. And that is helping. Marcus, in the meantime, lost the position to Albertini, which was expected due to difference of tires. Comrade in 3rd position. Can continue for some time. Doesn't have to pit. Maybe the next 5 laps. Now in 2nd position. I think both drivers will jump Marcus. Yes. And there's Antwin. Antwin is going to jump him, maybe. Not quite, but that was close. Okay, let's look at Antwin. He was in the pits lap 30. So there's a difference of 2 laps, which isn't that much, but it's noticeable. Okay, very important for Marcus to build a gap. Otherwise, Antwin will have a chance to attack him. And Cello, definitely not his stint, not his race. 45 seconds behind the leader. Good news is that Marcus and Confi are just 15 seconds ahead of them, so no real danger for F1 Revolution to lose this much time, and thus the first position, the overall first position. Good news for F1 Revolution also is that Antwin has a slipstream and is able to attack Marcus. It's really up and down. Change of position for now. A similar situation here. The instructor went into the pits a bit earlier, and Confi later has a better rubber, but can't make the use of it. He has to slow down. 2-second time penalty. It has to be served after this banner. You just saw this Leon banner at the end of the sector. And Confi just does this time. We see here Marcus and Antwin are fighting. Antwin, it seemed that he had a look into that corner, had to back out of it. Weird line. Gap to P3 in 2 seconds. Marcus didn't have the best exit, and Antwin is coming. It's not enough. Didn't even lose that much, despite having served a 2-second time penalty. And I think the instructor is going to serve a 2-second time penalty as well. That looked, if he used a lot of curb, yes, he has to serve a penalty, but it's just half a second time penalty. Don't ask me why one is worth 2 and one is just worth half a second. He has to burn the penalty now. Seemed like he did burn it in time, but he burned it from the racing line and was definitely close to the, I think that's borderline okay. Marcus under a lot of pressure, and I'm afraid this time Antwin can make the maneuver. He's the closest. It's all good. Both are driving the same car from Nissan, so no difference in performance whatsoever. And Twin for the inside. Marcus doesn't fight it too much. He's looking for a good exit, so there's maybe a chance to recover from that. That doesn't look like it. So Antwin is through. and we have a nice battle on our hands here. Comrade is slow at the moment because of the tire situation, and he has some company. It's not an easy situation having one driver of a league ahead and immediately behind you. Comrade is going to continue in giving the structure a lot of slipstream. That's not helping his teammate though. But he goes defensive, trying to hold the position. The structure has to go on the outside line here. Goes with a switchback, early acceleration. But it seems like that Comrade has this covered. Just brilliant news for Albertini, who's leading for almost half a minute at this point. We're at halftime of the event, of this stint. I don't understand this. Destructor put this move at least 3 times now, and all 3 times in contact. But now he has found a way, and Conrad has to give up not only the 2nd but also the 4th place, as Confi finds a way past him and goes for the daring move down the inside there. And this was clever because it gave the opportunity to Comrade to make a move on Destructor, who was completely out of shape, not expecting that maneuver. And that gives Antwin an opportunity as well. He closed. Thank you, yeah. Closed the gap, lost the momentum, Destructor, and he went into outrub. I'm not sure if he expected Antwin to be there. Confi now in 2nd position, Antwin P3. Destructor could have been in 2nd position, but now is in 4th position. What's your opinion on that move from Confi? My opinion was fair. He just went on the inside and positioned his car close to the apex so that Disruptor couldn't turn in. But it wasn't unfair, in my opinion at least. What do you think? Cello is surely, slowly but surely, closing the gap. It had been 15 seconds, now it's just under 10 seconds, so he's on a good way to recover and get some positions. Both Conrad and Cello are apart by 17 seconds. Cello and Conrad, I don't think that they will meet soon. Maybe later, maybe. Luilu still hanging in there, doing a good job. Has a lot of fuel though. Pit so I think she used the pit stop to give a car everything that gets in there, has to get in there, 100 liter. Albertini is leading by half a minute, then we have Company in 2nd position and completes the podium. But closely behind that we have the Structure and Marcus. Marcus, bit of a down for his race at the moment. He's not making progress. bit of a better tire situation than drivers in front of him, but had some bad laps. For example, lap 36 was almost a 32, lap 34 was almost a 32. That's not enough. Maybe we can change that now. Overtaking the structure. Maybe overtaking. Not having the overspeed on him, and the outside, it looks like that Fab can hold that position that time, and so it is. We think it's an easy overtaking spot, turn 1 after such a long straight, but you have to time it correctly. If you are too close in slipstream, you have to go out of it and look for your own line, and then you're driving against the wind and at the same speed as the other driver. And if you're getting out of slipstream too late, you maybe don't have enough road left to make the move. So you really have to use the slipstream and have the right timing to pull out of it, and use the overspeed you got from that to make the move. And Marcus was just way too close the last lap. Let's see if he does it better this lap. Bit of a different line. See, and that's what I mean. He was side by side, but he didn't have the momentum. Now he's looking for the momentum. He's gaining, but is it enough? Now he's pulling out. That's fairly late on the straight. He is slightly ahead, but is that enough? I don't think it is. Moving across in the braking zone, that was not the very cleanest driving. I think that touched slightly as well. But he makes the move. Stick, and the instructor is now in 5th position. I think that was borderline okay. And Cello 7.5 seconds behind of the instructor. He will be there and will fight with the instructor, with Marcus, maybe even with Antwin and Comfy. Definitely, I think P4 is definitely possible for him. Have to see what Comrade can do. Bit of a question mark. If he has to do one more stop than other drivers. We're getting blue flags for Comfy. Comfy is in good position, 2nd place, and ahead of Antwin by almost 2 seconds. No chance to get attacked immediately. Marcus is roughly 6 seconds behind Comfy, and that is magic number what's enough for that team from Comfy RC1 to get 2nd position in the overall standings. That would delegate DLL to 3rd position. Let's see if Marcus can fight back or if Comfy can even extend that lead. We have Antwin between them. We have the instructor who can fight with Marcus, and we have Cello who wants to come back, and he's doing that with major steps. Let's see, 33.0, that was an awful lap from the instructor. Not good. If we compare that to Cello, who did a 31.0. So Cello is definitely on the march. Let's look to Albertini for a moment and visit him for some time. that's for the reason because he's doing an excellent job. Building that gap and is able just to drive his laps. He's doing a good job. If you look at the mini-map in the top right corner, we see visually how big the gap is. And we have the structure in the pits. Again, he is the first to pit. And he comes out in 7th position. Has Comrade ahead of him. Comrade with fairly few tires himself. He pitted in lap 37, so 5-6 laps old tires. Good condition. Marcus can go longer. Another option is to stop as well, to cover the undercut, and using this excess fuel of what 5-6 laps to his advantage. Stop for shorter time. Emerging still ahead, but he decides otherwise. We have Edwin in 3rd position, closing a bit of the gap. Yet Confi. And we have pits as well. Keep going. Good job, bring the car home. Martini leading, with a comfortable margin. This battle is interesting. Confi and then when are battling for 2nd position right now. Leader Albertini also went for a pit stop. Should be interesting where he comes out, because 28 seconds, so round the time you need for a pit stop, so he could come out ahead of Confi or even behind the end. We will see Weiser in a few seconds. We see him there, he rejoins the track, and he just managed to stay in the lead. So Albertini has now a full stop ahead of the rest of the field. That's impressive. Cello also visits the pits one more time. Thankfully no damage now. Where's Comrade, by the way? Already ahead. Long stop, a lot of fuel goes. And Louis passes Cello on track, but they are in a different lap, so that will sort itself out probably in the next corners. So the structure with the undercut attempt once more has a 35, and Confi has damage. Something happened to Confi. I assume it was the left-hander in 2nd sector. You go wide, use the curb, use a bit of the dirt, and if you do too much, you lose the car. And I think that happened to Confi. Yeah, going to box, have to repair the car. Is low on fuel anyway and on tires, so. The timing isn't the worst. That sucks. Sorry for Racing club, but that's good news for me, for DLL, because Confi was 6-7 seconds ahead of Marcus, and that would have been enough to give them the second position, but now DLL is back in second position. Sorry that I'm not completely partial here. Ouch, that hurts. 2 minutes 16, that's about 15 seconds time loss Confi had. Oh, we just moved to Cello just in time to see that amazing save. Got a bit wide, and if you go too wide on that curb, this is sausage curb behind it, and that can really upset the car. I think that what happened to Cello here, but he saved that. So we have Destructor with 30 seconds behind, and Confi is 14 seconds behind Destructor. And now Edwin is going to the pits. Marcus is going for one more lap. Here we have Edwin, and yeah, the question is, can he be ahead of Destructor? I don't think so. He should be definitely ahead of Confi after that accident. Now Edwin is going. Here is Cello. Destructor passed him. Not by much. Not by much, but he's ahead. Cello. P6. Confi 5 seconds behind. Cello 6 seconds. Don't worry, Albertini's gap is displayed with 11 seconds, just for a reason, because Albertini already stopped. Marcus is going to stop now, and after that the world will look differently. I'm not quite sure where to put Comrade. I mean, we see a lot of drivers pitted now, or like Marcus are going to pit this lap, but Comrade is on a different strategy. He's in the middle of his stint, so that will give him second place, but he has to stop like everyone just one more time after that, and that should put him P6, something around Cello again, I think. Marcus has some fuel left, he can continue for one more lap. We don't seem to have a real battle on track at the moment. So we enjoy Albertini's drive. And at the end of this lap, Marcus has to pit, so then it will be very interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Confi. Confi had a bad lap. Lap 47 was a 1:33.0. That's about 2 seconds too slow. Confi experiencing a very difficult stint. In my opinion, a lot of people had troubles, we had accidents, but a handful of mistakes in this last stint. For some drivers it's the second stint, so that's maybe part why it happened. Okay, Marcus pitting, penultimate time, one more stop for everyone after this round of stops. Tires are changed, now the fuel. Here's Cello, he's going to jump Marcus. Here's Confi, Marcus is now driving. Where's Confi? At the pit straight, here's Marcus, and Marcus is ahead. Confi has 3-4 laps less fuel and older tires, and has to do a very long last stint. Marcus, with better tires, should minimally hold the gap, and then when they go for the last round of stops, should be still ahead, and then the task is simple: hold the gap, and we're golden. Crazy to understand that the Structure and Marcus were so close. The Structure 31 seconds behind, Marcus 43 seconds. So there's a huge gap between those two drivers, namely due to a heavily big undercut. And really, that's really part of this stint, I think, more than any other stint, that we have maybe for reason of the accidents, many different strategies, and some people are in sync and a handful of people are in the complete opposite sync. So Marcus was, for example, second, and now he's almost to second last, but when everyone else stopped, he is going to come forward again to second or third place. So a lot of movement, and we have to figure out in the next 27 laps how the order will be like. That's a place where I think Confi lost the car. He was on the grass there as well. It unsettles the car a bit, but it's usually quicker to use all the roads and more what's available to you. Hi Knipchen. Yeah, Cello can use some motivation. Definitely not the race he was looking for. Got it, and yeah, I think he returned the favor. And now is stuck basically in the middle of nowhere. His pace is good. I think he had 40 seconds, 45 seconds gap to the leaders. I think maybe 50 seconds at one point. And he's fighting, he's pushing, he's doing great. It's a bit of a shame that he has no one to race really. Maybe Marcus is going to join it. Let's compare lap times. 1 minute 30.8 and 1 minute 30.4 against 1 minute 30.9. That's not good enough, Marcus. Despite being on fresher tires, Cello is pulling away. So, strong effort by Cello. But could be that we see a fight here. Confi has a time penalty, burns it correctly. Not the race for Confi as well. I think that's the second or third time penalty he has this stint, and I'm not sure if there was actually contact, but he almost or had an accident at the start of the race, and then I think spun the car by himself. So. Not the way he hoped this event would end for him. Marcus now with 30.7, Cello with 30.4, so Cello, full beans, strong pace. Yep, good news for you, F1 is no matter what's happening right now, Cello is in a good enough position, or has a gap that is absolutely fine, that you do not have to worry about losing the overall victory of this event. have to worry about that. Let's see what Anton is capable of against Destructor. We learned that Destructor is going into the pits really early, thus with using the tire advantage, creating a massive undercut against his opponent, but he's losing out at the end of the stint. And that part is coming now. Edwin has closed the gap, and Destructor is driving in a way you shouldn't drive. I think there was 4 or 5 change of directions right there. That's not acceptable. Squeezes Edwin a bit here, but I think that was okay. No touch or just very light contact. Edwin is looking for a good exit. You happen, this chicane isn't the best overtaking opportunity, but Edwin is looking to change that. Around the outside, can he make it? Wow, great maneuver. Obviously, if we look at the tires, we see there's some advantage for him, but that was great. That was brave and also fair from the Destructor. I criticized some of his driving today, but fair play to both of you. That was good racing. Most importantly for Edwin, he created a gap to Destructor so that Destructor can't re-overtake him. And Shallow, if he can continue for some more laps, he is able to join Destructor with P4. And could be, yeah. Shallow should pit one more time, like everyone else, so this P5 is real. It won't be affected with pit stop strategies, and so this is a real P5 and is very likely to be a P4 if he can close the gap of 5 seconds to Anton, maybe even a podium. Closing the gap to Cello in the meantime. I think if I saw that correctly, Confi had another time penalty. It's not really working for Confi. See a lot of correction with the car, fighting. You can see that he tries, he wants to. No! Nice save, nice save. Ah, shit. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I mean, for me as DLL member, it is good that we are in front of RC, but Confi is fighting really hard. You see that he wants, and it's just not working for him. And he put so much effort into this event. He's driving his second stint. He commentated 2 stints. He's here and working for this event from 11 o'clock in the morning from now on. And I just feel for the guy. Lost another 5 seconds that lap. It's just devastating that nothing goes his way. Comrade and Edwin, P2 and P3. You see that Comrade has really worn tires. And it will not be easy not much of a fight for comrade here. And that's a job well done. Second place for Edwin. Instructor in fourth position has Cello behind 1.5 seconds, and Marcus is 2 seconds behind that. Bye Pikachu. I see you brought your own emotes. I'm not sure. I implemented them yesterday. We should have emotes here as well. Yes. Ah, okay. One have to be a subscriber to use them. Sorry. Stated before, I wasn't aware that I need to commentate here, and did a lot of changes to the Twitch platform, and not really used to that, to the platform. Next race there will be open to everyone, if that's even possible. I really don't know Twitch. Sorry. So Cello had to burn a penalty, lost momentum, and has now Marcus in his rear mirror. Given the tire situation, Marcus has better chances, but everyone has one more stop to go. So if Cello yields that position, he has no chance really to get it back. So he has to defend. He doesn't. Really? Oh, I'm always scared. What was that? It looked like Cello let the door open, decided to turn in, but opened the door once more to allow Marcus to go through, and then just doesn't overtake, doesn't accelerate. I think Marcus did accelerate as much as he could too. It was a bit of a weird situation. Perhaps Cello saw that he was already on the curb and that the AstroTurf wasn't far away, and everyone trained this track, and I guarantee that everyone had it happen to him that they touched that AstroTurf and lost control of the car. So maybe after all that happened, he just was being careful. Marcus 1.7 seconds behind Destructor. Now with the stint going longer, it's going back in favor for Marcus, and it's getting more challenging for Destructor. Cello has a nice run, but it seems like he doesn't want to overtake. Maybe he's aware that Marcus has better tires and slightly better pace, and is just using the car in front of him to get the slipstream, to get a bit of fuel save, something like that, as long as he can, to save his own race. Because if he would attack, he and Marcus would just lose time, and ultimately Destructor would be able to get away, and that wouldn't help anyone. Let's see, Confi not really having a mistake again, but not good lap times with 32.1 and a 32.3. Not that competitive lap times. That doesn't look good for Confi, I'm afraid. Looks better for Marcus at the moment, closing the gap to P4. Hi Tristan. Good driver. He's putting up a good fight. Now in the pits. That's a very long stint he has to do, but okay. It's manageable to do that with one set of soft tires. The undercut helped him. Now he has to go long stint, a very long stint. Shallow's also in the pits. It's early for him. I wonder why he pitted. He could have used the slipstream and a bit more laps. He's out again on track. But I don't think that this is enough to make it to the end. Or is it? I mean, if we compare fuel, Shallow has a bit less, but Destructor has a similar amount. So I assume that they are going to go to the end. Destructor lost the position though in the pits because he had to take more fuel than Shallow did. Confi is now in 5th position, but has more stuff to go, so has Marcus. There's Comrade in front of him. Comrade has to pit now for the last time. Marcus will continue for 3 laps, 4 laps. Very interesting to see what Cello and Destructor are capable of. Those two were in fight with Marcus for position, and they're now on track on fresh rubber, so they should be able to close the gap. And when Marcus comes out on track again after his pit stop, should be behind both of them, and should have to have overtake both drivers on track to get the position. So it's a promising end of the race, I would say. A bit less than half an hour. I hope everyone enjoyed that race so far. Looking at front, Antwin probably go to pit next lap. Our leader, Team Albertini, visiting the pits for the last time. Long stint too. That's going to be 17 laps for him. Here's Antwerp. Is number 1 for a brief second moment there, but then it switched back to number 2. Don't be fooled. The gap is now 5 seconds, but Antwin has to do one more stop. So there's does Marcus in 3rd position right now. Confi is 12 seconds behind him. Marcus can continue, while Confi, I think, has to pit now. I don't think he can do 2 laps out of that. 1 minute 32.0. Marcus is doing a 1 minute 32.6. Confi is losing time. It's not looking good for Realistic Racing Club to get 2nd position in the race. So what's happening here? Comrade in 5th position, just 1 second ahead of Cello. That could be interesting. And immediately behind that we have Destructor, 1.8 seconds. Is he trailing behind? I think he's able to close that gap when those two are fighting again. I don't think that they will let each other pass. I think this is going to be a battle. Very interesting to see, with 3 drivers yet to pit, where those drivers P5, P2, P7 will come out. There could be up to P2 even, 2, 3 and 4, and then have to defend this position against drivers who pit later on better rubber. So had the feeling that Stint 3 wasn't the most exciting race. Everyone was kind of spread out and driving his own race. That was the feeling while I was driving. This is definitely the contrary. We have an exciting race. We have good battles. We have different strategies, undercuts, overcuts. So, what more can you wish for in an endurance race? Gap is 1.2 seconds, and we have a that time penalty wasn't burned correctly from the destructor. A little bit too late. While we have the last stop from Antwin, and whereas Marcus continuing this stint, Confi is going to pit as well. Comrades should be able to continue, and that will be very interesting to see where Antwin is rejoining. Looks like he's joining behind. Where is he? Who's Marcus? Comrades, where's Antwin? There, P3. For some reason the camera jumps in. Now we got him. So Antwin is in third position right now. He has the better tires. So this is definitely P2 for him, isn't it? Marcus will pit this or lap after that and fall behind Antwin. So Antwin's in P2. Then we have Comrade, Cello, who are still fighting, and here Destructor, and that's the area where Marcus should rejoin. Definitely ahead of Confi. Confi pitted. It's on his last laps. Yeah, Blue also pitted. So we will have one more pit stop, and that pit stop is for Marcus, and then everyone is going to the end of the race. That's the plan, at least. Is holding the gap to Comrade, and not much has changed here from Comrade to Cello. Let's go to Marcus. He's going to pit, and then we see how things turn out. Continues with one more lap. Don't know exactly why, because his tires are done and okay. Marcus should rejoin a couple of seconds. What is happening here? Destructor napping? Control for a brief moment and went on the grass. Didn't cost much. Second maybe at best. Marcus pit. Antwin slightly increasing gap, looking for a solid P2 finish. Comrade and Shadow still fighting. Bit of shame that they had contact twice, otherwise they would have been at least a challenger for Albertini Fuji for the win of the stint. Now they're, at least one of them could bring home a podium. Destructor, I don't think he can gain more position. He will get one position from Marcus, who's pitting now. Then 6 seconds in 12 laps. That's a really challenging task. So Marcus, last stop with 13 laps to go. And lost out big time to Destructor. 4 seconds the gap. And that gap has to be closed. I mean, given the tire situation, it's not unlikely, but getting shallow who's 10 seconds ahead of Marcus, I don't see that happen. Important for DLL is that Confi is about 10 seconds behind and flirting with track limits, but not the way they hoped things would turn out for them. Poor Confi. Lulu still hanging in there, and I have to say, the pace itself isn't on the same level as the other guys. Okay, that's obvious. But no mistakes. I've seen no big mistakes from her. Driving her pace, lap by lap, and that all on her own, without real competition. I think that deserves respect. Setting about the second times I see. Trying to get away from Comrade. Has managed to build a 3-second gap to Shallow, so perhaps we don't see a change here. Destructor 4 seconds still, the gap to Marcus. So that's really the question. Can Marcus get one more position? Can Destructor defend the position? I think the other places seem to be set, and I would expect some changes in movement here. After we see what drivers cross the finish line, we'll get the information of the gaps, and then I will hopefully very quickly inform you about the final results, and then give you written confirmation of the result before the decision, obviously, in Discord and on Twitter. So if you haven't follow us there, you may want to give it a look then. Antwin 2 seconds ahead. Not much happening here. The gap is somewhat static. No real movement in this gap. Shallow is definitely slower at the moment than Comrade, and Antwin is not able to join that fight for the podium. Looks like it's going to be P4, and Marcus is in 5th position because Destructor must have made a mistake. Marcus I see no damage on the car, no touches, no damage as well on Faf's car. previous lap times that indicated something happened here. Confi is very close to Faf now as well. Bit unfortunate stint with Faf. 6th place at the moment. Could be 7th place even, but it doesn't show the progress the team went through for this stint. Showed good racing, a bit over the top racing too, but Faf was finally there, and fought with other cars for positions, so they stepped up, even if it doesn't show that much on the result right now. So for Marcus, 5 seconds ahead of Destructor, and 9 seconds. I don't think that is possible. 9 seconds is a long way to go. We see 1 minute 39.7 from Destructor, so that's crazy. He's behind. There must have been some kind of mistake, I assume. Giving Confi the chance for one more fight. Not if he's sliding like that. I wonder why he slides like this. Obviously, he doesn't use ABS, but it's really early on the braking zone. Not even 10 laps to go in this 8-hour race. Final minutes. Tire-wise, Structure has it's a worse situation than Confi's tires. Aren't in the best shape anymore, but look relatively fresh in comparison to Destructors, so it won't be easy to hold that 6th place in that stint. Okay, just going through all drivers once more. We're in the 71st lap. Albertini is leading the race, basically from the moment on that Comrade and Shadow had to coming together, let's say it that way, and never look back. Lost positions only due to pit stops. But effectively, this is our race leader from that moment on, and is doing it with almost 40 seconds ahead of Edwin. Edwin had one moment where he had to pit for an unscheduled pit stop as well after doing one mistake, but he recovered, is in 2nd position, and he will not lose that position if he keeps it together. Comrade, it seemed like caused an amazing big incident with Cello. So congratulations to him for driving the car back into that podium position, but he and also Cello's situation with Comrade, I'm afraid that Stewart will have a look into this and maybe alter the final result after looking into those incidents. Marcus, really the roller coaster race, didn't have the best start. Good starting position from 2nd place, but went down 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm not sure if he was 7th for a moment even, and got up the field, got down the field again, given with the tire strategies. Lot happened there, but it looks like 5th place to me. I don't will be a stretch, maybe even before. Now we have Confi and Destructor fighting for 6th position. Destructor defending with worse tires, overshooting the corner slightly. Using a lot of curb. Confi is definitely entertaining driving from Destructor. Help Faf to show what they're made of. Definitely the best stint from Faf. Even if it's the second last place now, it is a strong performance from the driver. I believe it is the first time this driver is driving here in the US, so good start, good first race. Confi, I can't say good race to that, just mistake after mistake, and it's unfortunate. Sorry for the guy who put so much effort into this event. Again, drove 2 stints, this is his 2nd stint, and also commentated 2 stints. Put a lot of effort into this. Thanks Tristan for confirming that the greasier energy Destructor is indeed a new driver. He's doing a good job, and this has also to be said for PPL. Not even closely in competition with another driver, but doing lap per lap a good job and holding on the track. Doing a good job here, and I respect that a lot. Doing everything possible to go to the end, finish the race. So let's look. We have some fights for the last 5 laps on our hands. Comrade were able to close the gap a bit because Antwin had a time penalty. Probably not likely that he is going to attack Antwin. Cello and Marcus could be interesting. Cello is doing 32.1, 31.9, 31.5s before that. What's his lap time now? 31.5. And Marcus, 31.4 this lap. Before that, 30.5, 30.2. Marcus is definitely quicker, but is it enough? I mean, we have 4 laps to go. It's 4 seconds. It could be done, but it's a lot to ask. Being 1 second quicker per lap, and we see Destructor having to pit. Yeah, if we look at the tires, they're done. So even if it costs more time, it's a safe option to pit and enjoy the last couple of laps. And when lapping Liu, I think, yes. So is Comrade. The gap increased to 2 seconds. So I think the best fight we're looking at right now is 4P4. Marcus has to find a second per lap. Right now, he's not going to do that. The gap was 3.2 seconds per second, so I was a bit indecisive. This lap, Cello lost half a second only. That's not enough. Marcus needs twice the amount. The laps become smaller and smaller to drive, and the gap is still quite big, so I don't think we see a change here. So Marcus, 3.5 P6. And I hope Destructor can enjoy the last couple of laps. It's definitely a high top, and there should end this race as being the fastest car with having fresh, brand new tires, low fuel. I guess we can see 29 time from Destructor. It's still holding on, and we have 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go from for Albertini. Edwin is now starting the 76th lap, followed by Comrade Cello. 2 laps to go, and the gap is increasing. Marcus is losing pace, lost momentum. I assume he had a mistake, pushed too hard, and maybe lost a bit of control of the car, and I think that's that done. I'm afraid so. So going through the field, has 1 more lap to go after that. She probably isn't aware completely gaps. Albertini starting the last lap ahead of Edwin. Cello, Marcus, 3.3 seconds. I don't think we see something happening here. Confi, P6. Yeah, I told you so. 29.875. Not quite the fast lap, but just a 10th off. And 1 more lap to go for you. You can do it. This is the final lap. Albertini is going to win this stint. Don't throw it away, boy. Don't throw it away. But ultimately, F1 Revolution is going to win the overall event. And we have to check, obviously, with the gaps and everything. But it looks like it. Congratulations to Completely Out of Control Racing. They are going to win this stint in a dominant fashion with 39 seconds. Albertini wins stints 4. Great job, great job. And F1 Revolution, second team of 666, is finishing in 2nd position with 38 seconds of difference ahead of Comrade. Congratulations also to F1 Revolution. Great effort. And also to Comrade from RC. Cello. EMP4 minus P5. We have Confi now. 4 minutes and 2, I have to remember that. Confi and now Faf in P7. So, this was it. The 8 hours of Fuji are over. And we'll take a brief moment to confirm the gaps and then present you the final result. Yeah, agree, Predator. Great comeback. That wasn't easy. Challenging race for plenty of drivers, but just giving it everything and don't give up, coming back, that's strong. Yeah, but I can understand if Shallow is still pissed. I would be too. Yeah, congrats to everyone who participated. Comfy has finished all the gaps. That was quick, and I'm able to present you the final standings. In 8th place we have Faf Motorsports. In 7th place we have PPL, Lost in Pace Racing. 6th position is F1 Revolution, second team, the 666. And in 5th position we have Realistic Racing Club, the Ridiculous Racing Clown team, the number 99. 4th position is COC Racing. Unfortunately, the last stint wasn't enough to bring them to the podium. They are just 3 seconds shy of the podium. That hurts. In 3rd place podium position is RRC2, Ravenous Raging Chimps, the 999. In 2nd place is DLL Salty Wheelchair in 2nd position, and 1st position F1 Revolution Team 1 777. There are, let's calculate, they hold their 90-second gap to DLL, so roundabout on the time of the whole event of the 8 hours, there are roughly 1 lap ahead. So you heard the result. We will confirm in our Discord and on Twitter. I really hope you enjoyed the stint. It was a bit of a shame that we weren't that many teams. I really hope that changes for the future. The next race is in Le Mans. We will race Group 1 cars there, and a multi-class race, and a Group 3 cars. So we have a split field into classes. 24-hour race. So what can you want more? So Le Mans is probably, with the Nürburgring 24 hours, the greatest endurance race you can have, at least for European. I know a certain Canadian who would probably want to add a race or two there. Yeah, thank you very much. A big thank you to Confi, who worked incredibly hard today, streamed 2 stints, and raced the other 2 stints, and a lot of activity in Discord, behind the scenes, with the gaps. He did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for that. Without the help of other people, this wouldn't have been possible. What else is there to say? I just hope you enjoyed the race, had fun. I wish you good night. Tristan, if you're still there, you should, 15, 16 o'clock, a good evening for you, I assume. And yeah, you will hear me on Discord, on Twitter, and if you're new, consider subscribing, and we'll see each other again in 2 weeks on this channel when for the very first time Formula One will be raced in digital endurance series. Congrats to all the teams, especially F1 Revolution for taking the overall win. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.